supposed to.
Are you really? Oh my
Well, it's
gosh.
about friends, you know.
Oh, I love
Good morning all. Welcome to worship. It's good to see you all here. This week I read something, perhaps you saw it too. It's called Instructions for Living in a Broken World. And number one is lean into community. So here we are. Amen. It's good to see you in the online pews and here in Unity Hall. Know that your presence here makes a difference. Welcome to All Souls. Where all souls are welcome. You will have received one of these slips as you came in, and the instructions are to fill these out, and you might like to have it in the back of your mind, thinking about it. We're going to hand them in during the offering, and these will be used in the service next week. And we're inviting you to think about what you are grateful for, the simple things in life that you're grateful for. Just a couple of sentences, a couple of things for what are you most grateful for, and stick them in the basket during the offering. So thank you. Let's gather this spirit, and I invite you to rise in body and our spirit, and we will sing Gather the Spirit.
We take a moment to greet each other warmly, holding what we have, that peace and love in our hearts that we need so badly these days, and we give a piece of that to each other through that electric connection in our elbows. And so before we begin, first, I'd like to ask if there's anybody visiting for the first time, not to embarrass you, but so that we can greet you warmly. So if you're willing, raise your hand. Welcome. If you're visiting for the first time in our online pews, please let us know in the chat. And now we're going to take a moment to turn and wave to all the people who are in the live stream and in the chat. Welcome. We're glad you're with us, whether it's in person or there. And so now Let us make a joyful noise and greet each other warmly. Such a wonderful noise to hear all of you. We gave you a little extra time this morning, but that's enough now. We acknowledge the Nahantic, Mohegan, Mashantucket Pequot, and Eastern Pequot people as the traditional caretakers of the land on which we worship. We honor and pay respect to these tribes, their ancestors, and their lineage, who today uphold traditional practices, art, and education. Each Sunday, we light the chalice, the symbol of Unitarian Universalism, a symbol of peace, love, and justice. And this morning, I'd like to call up Trevor to light the chalice.
Is
this your first time lighting the chalice? It's his first time lighting the chalice ever. And as he lights the chalice, we say these words together. We light this chalice as a symbol of the spark of life, which abides within us and around us. May it be as a light in a dark night, a light in a window that welcomes the weary traveler home. May it be as a light in the hand of a trusted friend that guides us along the path. May it be as light kindled in community here and now. Let it shine. Amen.
Each week we also light a candle of peace. This week is Trans Week of Visibility, which culminates this coming Wednesday, November 20th, in Trans Day of Remembrance. And today, Paul lights the candle of peace. We are lighting the candle of peace in memory of all those whose lives were lost in the past year in acts of anti-transgender violence. We remember those whose lives have been lost. We witness the ongoing struggles faced by the transgender community, and we recommit to efforts to achieve equality and justice. May it be so. This coming Wednesday, November 20th, 6:30 p.m. here, is the Transgender Day of Remembrance service, which All Souls is co-sponsoring with Out Connecticut. That's 6:30 this coming Wednesday.
So today's service is focused on friendship, and friendship can mean a lot of things and enter into your life in a lot of ways, and this story is going to share some of that. So see if you can find those ways that you connect in friendship in this.
A friend is someone who hugs you when you're sad or feeling blue. When things don't go as well as planned, your friend will comfort you and understand.
If you feel like stopping before you even start, a friend encourages you so you don't lose heart. Your friend will be there waiting by your side to give you the strength you need inside.
If you have a special secret to share, it's good to tell it to someone who will care. When you don't want anyone to spread your news, a true friend won't spill out any tiny hints or clues.
You and your friend hang around together. You share sunny jokes even when it's stormy weather. Your friend always knows the things that make you smile, even if you don't always share the same style.
When you're passing time with your friend, you'll wish the day would never end. Sometimes the simplest things you do will stick in your memory like happy glue.
Your best friend can teach you how to soar. And if you're shy, your friend might get you to roar. Thanks to what your friend suggests, you might get to do something that makes you feel like a completely new you.
If you're anxious and feeling a bit scared, your friend can help you get prepared. Soon, you'll be brave enough to begin, and your friend will cheer the loudest when you win.
Yay! Your friend can give you courage to face the unknown. With your friend by your side, you know you're not alone. Even if you're both scared, that's okay too. You can help each other figure out what to do.
There isn't anything more wonderful than playing pretend. You can make up stories and act them out with your friend. You'll take turns playing the hero and the villain too. Adventure awaits. There's treasure to pursue.
When you're discouraged, your friend can make you smile. Silly jokes and antics lift you up after a while. And when your friend is feeling down, you can be the one to tell jokes, act silly, and change the mood to fun.
You might feel that you'll never have a friend. There's one easy way to make this feeling end. Just reach out to someone who feels the same way you do. It's the best way to start a friendship with someone new.
So that was a fun story, right? But in the lightness of the story is that real thing that today we all really need, that connection, that friendship, and we depend on it. And so I expect you to really live out this story at coffee hour. And we're going to do that when we go to Faith Formation now together. And but actually, before we do that, the choir is going to share their anthem with us.
Yeah, Betsy and Carol are going to sing a song.
Thanks for sharing that vibrant, fun, really great arrangement of this little light of mine. So before we head out, I just want to tell you, behind that divider, behind those doors, is our coming of age group. And yesterday, 7 of the coming of agers and their advisors, Patrick Sheehan Gomer, who decided to do this on his birthday, and Maria Barais, and Carolyn, and I, and Paul Carolyn, all headed up to Boston for a UU heritage trip. And without going into all the details, they got to visit 2 historic churches up there. They got to ring the bells and the bell, climbed up the stairs and the ladder to the bell tower and got to ring the bells all over Boston. And they learned about William Ellery Channing and Robert Gould Shaw, who was a Unitarian who led the first black regiment in the Civil War, and Edward Everett Hale, and ended the day at Quincy Market. And they had an amazing time. So if you see one of our high school coming of age youth in coffee hour, you can ask them a little bit about their trip to Boston yesterday. So that brightened their light, and we're going to go let our lights shine. And if you could sing us out with Trees of the Field, that would be wonderful.
Each week when we gather together, one of the ways that we tend to the fabric of community is to bear witness to each other's lives, what's going on in each other's lives, the joys and the sorrows both. And these can be shared in 3 ways. If you're in the online pews, if you can write in the chat, in the YouTube chat, what you would like to be shared here this morning. And those in Unity Hall, you can also write in this book, which sits in the lobby opposite the front door. And you can also share by emailing us at belovedcommunity@allsouls.net. Those of you here in Unity Hall are invited, if you would so wish, to light a candle of intention, to come up here. And if those at the front of the row would move further up here so that the line can flow. So this circle is open. Know that your joys and your sorrows, all of it is welcome here. We are lifting up Michelle Ewers and Charlie and their family on the death of Michelle's brother Richie yesterday. And Michelle was to have been our liturgist today, and our hearts are with Michelle in her mourning. And we're grateful for Paul for stepping up this morning. Michelle designed much of this morning's service, and Michelle, our hearts are with you. We are holding close also Carol Richardson, who just had surgery. Let's hold Carol in our hearts for healing and recovery. And we have a celebration. Tomorrow, Jane Allen turns 90 years old. Happy birthday. Many blessings to you, Jane. And from Judy Behan, strength to navigate and help each other in our broken country. Amen, Judy. Strength to navigate and help each other in our broken country. We are holding that. And so we offer love and peace for everything that has been shared, for all that's held in our hearts. And let's enter into a communion of prayer and meditation, followed by silence. Source of all light and love, we're holding all the sorrow and disappointment, griefs, as well as the joys and celebrations, spoken and unspoken, held in this gathering. We're witnessing the love and hope, care and concern directed towards people and places and circumstances, in the online pews here in Unity Hall, in the wider rings of community around us, in this country and the world. May those connections of beloved community be felt, be experienced. May they sustain and nourish. We're grateful for all that lights up our souls. May that little light shine forth. We're grateful for all the ways that we elicit that light from one another. And we're grateful that together we can shine, we can be so much more brighter than simply the sum of the parts. May this collective light shine as bright as a supermoon. Amen.
So connected with our theme of hope this month, it's a beautiful reading chosen by Michelle on friendship by Khalil Gibran. And a youth said, "Speak to us of friendship." And the poet answered, saying, "Your friend is your needs answered. They are your field which you sow with love and reap with thanksgiving. And they are your board and your fireside. For you come to them with your hunger, and you seek them for peace. When your friend speaks their mind, you fear not the nay in your own mind, nor do you withhold the a. And when they are silent, your heart ceases not to listen to their heart. For without words in friendship, all thoughts or desires, all expectations are born and shared with joy that is unclaimed. When you part from your friend, you grieve not, for that which you love most in them may be clearer in their absence, as the mountain to the climber is clearer from the plain. And let there be no purpose in friendship, save the deepening of the spirit. For love that seeks aught but the disclosure of its own mystery is not love, but a net cast forth, and only the unprofitable is caught. And let your best be for your friend. If they must know the ebb of your tide, let them know its flood also. For what is your friend that you should seek them with hours to spare? Seek them always with hours to live. For it is theirs to fill your need, but not your emptiness. And in the sweetness of friendship, let there be laughter and sharing of pleasures. For in the dew of little things, the heart finds its morning and is refreshed. So ends the reading.
Today it's my pleasure to introduce the All Souls pastoral visitors to you. This program began 7 years ago by Reverend Caitlin O'Brien, and some of our pastoral visitors have been in it from the beginning. There is a pastoral visitors team, and there is an outreach or caring team, and some people are on both, but each has different roles. The pastoral visitors visit, and the outreach team provides rides and meals and so on. And so I'd like to introduce you here. Betsy Fox has been in the group since the beginning, and as has Carol Thompson for those 7 years. Charlie joined the team this year, and Nick joined this year also. And Peg Snow Madura is not able to be with us today. She's been in the group from the beginning. And Michelle, who we are missing, she's been in the group 3 or 4 years, and Paul 4 or 5 years. So it's a wonderful group. When we get together, we often discuss what pastoral means, because that word pastoral can often be intimidating or confusing, and for me, I never know whether it's pastoral or pastoral. So today we're going for pastoral, but it's a simple word. Really, it just means all of the ways that we offer support and compassion to the community. So, offering support and compassion to one another. And each person here has already done that this morning in this short time that we've been together. So all of us are pastoral. So as you heard in the poem, the poet says that deepening the spirit is a prime function of friendship. Deepening the spirit. And so it is with pastoral friendship that we're talking about today, deepening the spirit. And deepening the spirit lies primarily in the listening, that we try to meet people where they are, and that we try to listen without fixing, which is quite difficult, and what makes listening and pastoral visiting a spiritual practice. So with that, I'm going to hand the mic over to Carol.
Thank you. I actually don't know all the details of the beginning of Pastoral Visitors Program. I know that it was 2008 and developed by Glynis Alshek as Carolyn was about to go on her first interim. I became involved when Caitlin met with me about 6 years ago. She laid out the details of the program and asked if I was interested. Yes, I was. A group of us met and agreed to visit with 2 to 3 souls once a month. We met with Caitlin once a month and talked of what lay pastoral care was. This group has changed over time due to the pandemic, where we contacted each member of All Souls once a month. We are now about to return to the original model, a full circle. I've been asked a number of times, why did I want to be a visitor? The answer is simple. I enjoy that uninterrupted time with someone. Listening over time becomes a relationship, and over time reciprocity develops. It becomes a give and get. We listen to one another and love and respect develops. I am truly grateful to the souls I visit to learn of their lives and interests. It is a gift that we receive from one another.
Thank you, Carol. And Charlie.
I, too, was chosen by Michelle. Has very little to do with the visiting team. Since coming to All Souls, Michelle and I have enjoyed the benefits of being in a welcoming community. We've made new friends, and that's something neither of us takes for granted. We are all social creatures, and the need to stay that doesn't go away. Any interaction we have with another person is an opportunity for connection, and when that connection is being made, I've come to realize that each party brings something to that relationship and takes something away from it. Being on the visiting team allows this to continue to happen. Unlike Carol, I'm a new member to the team. And the first thought that popped into my mind before my first visit was, how do I break the ice? What are we going to talk about? There's a commonality already there, our connection to All Souls. And each of us has a story of how that came to be. One story will lead to another, questions will arise, curiosity will be piqued. Although you may be the visitor, you are also a listener. And what your new acquaintance says will provide a path forward in the conversation. Also, prior to the initial visit, Katrina will brief you on the person you will be calling on. If you already know the person, you'll have a shared experience to build upon. If you don't know the person at all, you'll be told of their background, interests, hobbies, all possibilities for conversation. Where you meet will also spark ideas. It could be over a cup of coffee at a coffee shop or on a walk. Since most of the visits, though, do occur in the person's home, you can look around, notice the view, the artwork on the walls, the books and magazines lying about, for they will tell you more about the individual. More things to talk about. Being a listener makes that exchange equally fulfilling. Also, it's important to remember that you've been asked to be there, so there is a willingness in welcoming you. You're not barging in on anyone. Our mission is to schmooze. It's a modest undertaking, but the potential is to be highly uplifting. A visit can be arranged for anyone, regardless of age. Illness and injury and loneliness can beset any of us. It's mostly aging, though, where our physical world, where we go, where we choose to live, whom we see regularly, how much we can do in one day, can shrink. This happens to the souls in our circle. Some move away to be closer to their kids, who've also moved away. In downsizing, some move out of the area to find new accommodations. Physical infirmities sideline others. Some sadly pass away. For those of us on the visiting team, those losses were compensated for by the new relationships we formed. We have found a way of expanding our world of engagement, planting seeds of a friendship that will nourish all the parties involved. Simply, we're helping to keep the lines of connection and communication open. Thank you.
People to take me. I know. Thank you. Thank you very much. Morning, everybody. As was explained in Michelle's absence, we got together before this weekend and put together what was going to be grand, and then it was interrupted and she was unable to join us. So I'll read her words as well as my own. I'd like to begin with a quote. I'm going to read it again. I'd like to begin with a quote, and it is, "What do we live for if not to make life less difficult for each other?" And that's by George Eliot. And an Irish proverb, What would we do without them? What would we do without the Irish proverbs? The shelter in its place cheers others. It is in the shelter of others that people live. As an All Souls visitor, I hope that we do make life less difficult for folks. Friendship, I feel, can be measured in many ways, but simple and sincere can be the best guides. Fresh in the minds of us all are the weeks and months of COVID interruption. As an existing visitor, I joined forces with the outreach program and would continue to make phone calls to those on my list, as did the rest of the outreach team, as we tried to keep connections in our community alive. That's what friends do. Our friends comfort us, encourage us, so we don't lose heart. Excuse me. Okay. And they listen deeply to us. They make us smile and even sometimes laugh. When the dangers of COVID finally decreased because of vaccinations, Bobby K., I began visiting one of our members whose name was Alice, and she was happy to see me. Now, this was not her real name. You know that. Yes. It's not her real name. And all of us on the All Souls team always practice confidentiality, of course. I visited with a protective mask and distanced myself from Alice by way of the guidelines. About this time, I found out that there was to be an additional team visitor with whom she was not acquainted. I prayed in my own fashion that Michelle would be well received by Alice. Well received was an understatement. I needn't have worried. They immediately found common ground with shared interests in art, books, politics, and humor, and the New York Times, and chocolate. They became friends, and oh, what a treasure. The next section is in Michelle's words. I too feel that friendship can be measured in many ways. Simple and sincere can be the best guide. Alice and I did become friends. I found her to be sharp, witty, well-mannered, inquisitive, very reserved, and very kind, with a wry sense of humor. Someone once asked if she and her husband liked to go dancing, and she got up and did a little dance, and then we loved it. She liked to laugh. The three of us spent many visits laughing and sharing stories. One day when we were visiting, she took out a family photo album and shared pictures with Betsy, and I'm speaking, of course, for Michelle, but for Betsy and me. Alice showed us pictures of her family, her husband as young adults, their kids, their pets. Later during COVID, when we still wore masks, it was difficult for her to hear us. She was a little hard of hearing, and she needed to read lips. I know that story well because, it's very difficult sometimes to make yourself known. So Betsy and I spent a lot of time visiting, putting masks up and down. We did. We would often end up laughing about it, but we were at a distance. So we were careful to honor the guards that were in place. I discovered early that Alice had a soft spot for chocolate and sweets. Snickers were often present during our visit. Alice and I discovered that we both enjoyed reading mysteries. She especially loved the author Louise Perry, the same author that I liked, and so I would pass books to her when I finished them. We often discussed politics and went over articles in the Sunday New York Times while eating chocolate, of course. She and I would discuss all kinds of topics. We talked about getting old and how hard it is to make your own decisions, and how much she missed being independent. We even talked about death and dying. Alice would often tell me that she was very tired and she was ready to go. But she knew she wasn't the judge of that. In our story, at Story for All Ages, the children's group, they read, "A friend is someone who hugs you." And in our visits with Alice often ended with being given a Snickers bar and a hug. I want Michelle to know we're thinking of her and sending our love. And I thank you all.
Thank you, Betsy.
Yes.
And thank you all for sharing your experience and sharing this ministry. Thank you for your ministry. And so our hope is that if you are looking out for someone or you know of someone who would benefit, please let us know. And if you're interested, we're going to have a discussion following worship if you'd like to find out more and join the discussion. I invite you into a moment of silence. Once a month, we celebrate a soul, and today we are celebrating Suzanne Colton Carey, who is volunteering in the nursery today. I think she's just behind that door. If you would like to, if you would summons her in, please. Thanks. Here, Suzanne, we are holding up Suzanne and thanking her for all that she does at All Souls, which is Suzanne is a Start Fresh volunteer. She is a Sharing Circle facilitator. She is the Green Sanctuary Compost Queen. She's a facilitator in the Interfaith Covenanting Initiative, and she is a nursery volunteer, which is what she's doing today. Thank you, Suzanne. You are appreciated. you all received the little form earlier, and so you're invited to fill that out. A couple of things, simple things, what you're thankful for, and put them into the offering baskets. And today also is a Good Neighbor offering. And today's Good Neighbor offering is to benefit IASC, the Immigration Advocacy and Support Centre, which is here in New London, right here in New London. And IASC provides immigration-related legal services and education in Southeast Connecticut. And Reverend Carolyn serves as the board president. And they offer many wonderful services on a sliding scale so that all residents can access the legal guidance that they need. As an immigrant, I know that immigration is not easy, and it's something that you have to really want to do. And for many people, it's not only a want, but it is a life-sustaining need. And this week, it was reported that TPS, temporary protected status, which currently allows people from countries which are considered unsafe, it allows them to stay and work legally in the US. And currently, there are more than 1 million people in the country with TPS status. From 17 countries, most especially Venezuela, Haiti, and El Salvador. And many of them have been here living with TPS status for decades, and that status is under threat. So IASC is involved in immigration. These days, we all know how easy it is to feel discouraged. But it's a good thing to focus on what we can do, and so know that your contribution to IASC brings about change. So thank you for your friendship to people in our area who are in need of professional legal immigration advice. Your Good Neighbor offering will be most gratefully received. And if you're writing a check or giving online, please be sure to put GNO in the memo line. And also today is Food to the People, and now would be a good time, if you haven't done so already, to bring up your canned or boxed soup forward. So please join me in saying these words to prepare for our offering. We give to IASC to be good neighbors. We support work that creates greater good. With this offering, we remember to extend our reach beyond these walls.
Remind them to also fill out their gratitude notes. The notes of gratitude. What did you, at this point? Maybe when
for all that you have given and all that you have sacrificed. Thank you. And if you didn't get a chance to fill in the slips, you can always hand them in at the end. Thank you for that too. I invite you to stand in body and or spirit, and we'll join in our final hymn, which is Let It Be a Dance. Thank you. Thanks, Paul. And round we go again. Thank you for the improvisational dance. Please join in the words as we extinguish the chalice. Our worship has ended, but our service is not yet done. May our spirits be renewed and our purpose resolved as we meet the challenges of the week. Our chalice flame is extinguished until once again united by the strength of our communion. If in the online pews, if you'd like to put your hand in your heart and reach your arms out to the community beyond the screen, and those in Unity Hall, you want to reach your hands out to the wider world. As you bring your arms up, perhaps you'd like to do so as if you were capturing the light. from the sun, from the community this time here, into your heart. And then imagine sending those rays, beaming those rays out again into the world. And go and do likewise. Amen. And blessed be. I invite you to be seated for the postlude.
One more time.
There are many, many announcements this morning. So much so that you received a handout. Please take a look, and details are also in the e-blast and the e-news. If you're new to All Souls and want to know more about our faith community, please stop by the welcome table over here, and somebody will be happy to greet you and answer your questions. And today, the Poetry Circle is going on, and that will be in Ackerman. The pastoral visitors will have a discussion in Nash, and the membership reunion will be in Vail. Volunteers are needed for the Make Your Own Holiday Craft Fair. Please see Gretchen Edstrom. There's Gretchen waving. Thank you, Gretchen. And also another announcement that's not in the handout. This coming Thursday, the Greater Hartford Interfaith Action Alliance's Power Summit is taking place in Hartford, and you're invited to join members of other local congregations and come and experience the power of faith-based organizing. And if you want to, there's a bus leaving from Gales Ferry. If you would like to carpool to the bus, meet here at 4:10, and please let Paul here know. Thank you. And please also see the e-news for details. Next Sunday is a multi-generational service, bread communion, and to let you know, bread will be provided. So that's it for today. Lovely to have you all with us here and online, and wishing you a good week. And come and enjoy some friendship time at coffee hour.